What if I told you cash stuffing might be the reason you're still broke? Yeah, not because it doesn't work, but because you're using it wrong. Most people treat it like a quick fix, not a real budgeting method. They copy what they see online, think they know how to budget, and then wonder why their money management never improves. Even the cash envelope system won't save you if you miss this. Let's start with the biggest mistake: treating cash stuffing like a trend, not a system. Let me be honest with you. Cash stuffing is not the problem, but your mindset is. Most people see it on TikTok or YouTube and think, oh, this looks easy, I'll try it. They buy cute envelopes, set up a system, maybe follow a trendy budgeting method, and for a week or two, everything feels good. Then real life hits. Bills come in, friends invite you out, unexpected expenses show up, and suddenly the system stops working. But here's the truth. It didn't fail. You just treated it like a trend, not a system. When you treat cash stuffing like a trend, you only do it when you feel motivated. You stuff your envelopes when you're excited, but you ignore them when it gets uncomfortable. That's not money management. That's just temporary motivation. A real system works even when you don't feel like doing it. Think about it like going to the gym. If you only go when you feel motivated, you won't get results. But if you follow a system, schedule, routine, consistency, you win. Same with learning how to budget. Cash stuffing only works when it becomes a habit. Not something you try, but something you do every time you get paid. Here's a simple example. There are two persons, A and B. Person A sees cash stuffing online. They try it for 2 weeks, then stop when things get tight. They say, this doesn't work. While person B uses the same cash envelope system, but they stick to it every payday, even when it's annoying, even when it's boring. After 3 months, person B has control, but person A, still confused. Same system, different mindset. That's the difference. If you want this to actually change your life, you need to treat it like a long-term system, something you commit to, not something you test. Because once you stop relying on motivation, that's when real progress starts. But here's the next mistake that kills most people before they even get results: stuffing money without knowing your numbers. Here's the mistake that quietly keeps people broke. You're organizing money you don't actually understand. A lot of people jump into the cash envelope system and feel productive. They set up envelopes, label everything, start stuffing cash. But they skip one thing: knowing their real numbers. And that's a big problem. If you don't know how much you actually spend, your system is just a guess. This is where most budgeting for beginners go wrong. They think structure means control. But without real data, it's just fake control. Let's keep it simple. You create a cash envelope for food and put $300 inside. Sounds reasonable, right? But in reality, you spend $500 every month on food. So what happens? Week 2, your envelope is already empty. Now you feel frustrated. You think, this system doesn't work. But the system isn't the problem. Your numbers are. Good budgeting tips always start with truth, not guesses. Here's how to fix it. Go back and check your last 30 days. Look at everything, such as food, shopping, subscriptions, random spending. Now you'll see your real patterns. Let's say your actual numbers are: food, $500. Shopping, $250. Now you know how to budget money the right way. You either adjust your lifestyle or adjust your envelopes. That's when your system starts working with you, not against you. Because now, your plan matches your real life. And once your numbers are clear, you might feel tempted to do this next mistake: creating too many envelopes and making everything complicated. Let's talk about that. Making too many envelopes. Overcomplicating everything. Here's a mistake that feels productive, but actually keeps you stuck. You create too many envelopes and burn out. At first, it feels like you're doing everything right. You start cash stuffing, label a bunch of categories, and think, okay, now I finally know how to budget. But then reality hits. You've got envelopes for coffee, snacks, eating out, groceries, clothes, skincare, subscriptions, gifts, and suddenly, your system feels like a full-time job. That's not money management. That's stress. Here's the problem. The more complicated your system is, the harder it is to follow. And if it's hard to follow, you won't stick to it. A good budgeting method should feel simple. Something you can do even when you're tired, busy, or not motivated. Let's make it real. For example, there are person A and person B. Person A has 12 envelopes. Every time they spend money, they have to think, wait, which envelope is this? After a week, they get overwhelmed and slowly stop using the system. While person B keeps it simple, they use 3 to 4 main envelopes. Needs, wants, savings, maybe one extra. Now every decision is easy. Food, that's needs. Hang out, that's wants. No confusion, no stress. That's the difference. The goal of a cash envelope system is not to track every detail. It's to control your behavior with clear limits. Simple system means consistent action. Complicated system means quitting. And here's the truth. Consistency beats perfection every time. You can always add more categories later. But if you start too complex, you won't even get past week 2. So if your system feels heavy right now, simplify it. Because the easier it is to follow, the more likely it is to actually change your life. But even with a simple system, there's one mistake that can destroy everything quietly. Let's talk about the next one. Ignoring irregular expenses. This is the silent killer. Here's the mistake that blindsides almost everyone. It's not your daily spending that breaks you. It's the random expenses you didn't plan for. You're doing great with cash stuffing. Your weekly spending is under control. Your envelopes look good. Then boom. Car repair, birthday gift, annual subscription, medical bill. And suddenly, everything falls apart. This is what kills most budgeting for beginners. They plan for the obvious, but ignore the irregular. Here's the truth. These expenses are not random. They're just forgotten. And if you don't plan for them, they will destroy your system every time. That's why one of the most important budgeting tips is this. Expect the unexpected. Here's how to fix it. Create a separate envelope for irregular expenses. You can call it extras or unexpected. Now, every month, you put a small amount inside. Maybe $50, maybe $100. It doesn't feel important at first. But over time, it builds up. Let's make it real. Without this envelope, when your car breaks down, you take money from other envelopes, and then your whole plan collapses. But with this envelope, when your car breaks down, you already have money ready, so no stress. That's the power of planning ahead. This is how you truly learn how to budget money. Not just for today, but for real life. And once you include this in your cash envelope system, your finances become way more stable. But there's one final mistake, and this one is dangerous. Because it feels small, but it slowly destroys your future. Let's talk about it. Stealing from your own savings. It's the biggest wealth killer. Here's the most dangerous habit that keeps people broke. You're not losing money. You're stealing it from your future. It sounds harsh, but it's true. You start cash stuffing, everything looks good, your system is working. Then one day you run out of money in another category. So you think, I'll just borrow a little from my savings. I'll put it back later. But let's be honest, you almost never put it back. This is the biggest mistake in any cash envelope system. Because your savings are not extra money. They are your progress, your future, your safety. The moment you treat it like a backup spending account, your whole system breaks. Here's what it looks like in real life. You've saved $1,000. You feel proud. Then something comes up. Maybe shopping. Maybe a trip. You take $200 from your savings. Next month, another $100. Then another. And slowly, that $1,000 disappears. And the worst part, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything wrong. That's why this is the biggest wealth killer in money management. Good budgeting tips: always protect savings first. So here's the rule. Your savings is untouchable. If you run out of money in another cash envelope, you don't take from savings, but you adjust your spending. That's how you truly learn how to budget money. Because real discipline isn't about saving once. It's about keeping what you saved. And once you stop stealing from your own future, everything changes. Your savings grow faster. Your stress goes down. And for the first time, you actually move forward. If this video is useful, please share and comment. And if you like financial content like this, like and subscribe this channel. Hundreds K.